All right, class, we're going to go over the homework assignment for the retirement planning calculator. First, you're going to go to your Dave Ramsey support site at your fpucentral.daveramsey.com. You're going to log in. You're going to go to Tools and Resources, and you're going to open up Retirement Planning Calculator right here. Then I recommend you actually open up a new tab in your browser, go to the site again, and go to Tools and Resources, and open up the Investing Calculator. So you'll have one tab that's Retirement Calculator, and one that's Investing Calculator. Now keep in mind, the Investing Calculator is also available on the normal Dave Ramsey site, daveramsey.com, under Tools and then Investing Calculator. That can be used without a login for after the class is over. The Retirement Planning Calculator, I'm going to give you a third-party link, so once the class is over, you'll still be able to use a calculator that does the same thing, so you won't get locked out. So here we go. Let's talk about this. So in our retirement planning calculator, the first thing it asks us is, how much money do you plan to have in the bank when you retire? Well, you've got to know that. That's the first step. So let's talk about that. That's why we need the investing calculator up. And let's assume we have zero balance we have nothing in our 401ks or nothing in our retirement today. Let's assume the 12% return, and let's assume someone makes $50,000 a year. It's close to the average. So let's say $50,000. And if you remember, baby step 4 is 15% is going into baby step 4, which is your retirement. So I'm going to multiply it by 15% or times it by 0.15, and that gives me $7,500. Now that's how much per year you'll be putting towards your retirement. Now, if we divide that by 12, that will tell us how much per month you'll be putting towards retirement, and that's $625. So I've put $625 here, and let's say that we're going to contribute that for 30 years. And let's see what that investment's worth in 30 years. And I'm going to show the results. And there it shows you $2.2 million. You'll be a millionaire in 2037. The cool thing is, look, you've contributed $225,000, but the total interest was $1.9 million. So most of this will be growth. That's that exponential growth we're talking about. Now, you might say, well, I don't like using 12%. I want to be a little bit more conservative. Even if you used something a lot more conservative like 9%, you're still going to have over $1 million. So let's just say we use that. Plus, we didn't take into effect that over time, you're probably going to make more money. And as you make more money, the 15% will go up. So let's say over time you don't make 50 grand, but maybe you make 60, 65, or 70. If you were making 70,000 and you look at 15 and you divide by 12, now this would be $875 per month. So as your income increases, this is going to increase as well. But let's just hey, you never get a raise, you're only making 50 for the rest of your life, and we're being conservative. So this is really conservative. Okay, so it's 1.152 million. So now we go over to our retirement planning calculator, and we're going to put it at 1.152, I think it was 97796. So that's how much money we would have when we retire. What annual rate of return do you expect after you retire? Well, we just said 9% is what we were using conservatively. After taxes, again, this is going to depend how much of your money is going to the 401k, which gets taxed, and the Roth IRA, which is tax-free. So you're probably going to have your own analysis as to, well, if almost everything is going into my Roth, then it would just be 9% here because there won't be any taxes. If all of it's going into a 401k because my company matches 12%, or 15%, something like that, then it would be 9%. Let's just assume you're in the 28% tax bracket, or 25% tax bracket. So I'd multiply that 9% by 0.75, which is 75% of that you'll get because 25% is taxes taken out, and that gives us 6.75. So if you use the 9% for your calculator, I multiplied that by 0.75 because that's probably what you get after taxes, and that gives us 6.75. But again, if you had most of your money in a Roth, it'd probably be higher. It'd be closer to that 9%. How much do you want to spend annually when you retire? Now, this is in today's dollars, so I put $50,000 because I just said I want to have 100% of my income today when I retire, and expected inflation rate is 4. That's about average. And so when I say show results, it will show this curve here, and it will say you'll be able to fund 36 years and 9 months into retirement, spending $50,000 a year. If you retire at age 65, you'll run out of money at 102. This is good. because this means that you'll probably won't outlive your money and you'll be very comfortable and you'll still be able to give a lot. Let's take this one step further. So this is for homework. This is really what you're supposed to figure out is how much do you need to get by, and what does that mean if you do the 15% and things like that. So, but let's take this one step further. Let's say, okay, maybe we don't get 9%, maybe we get 10%. Maybe we get the 12% that Dave was talking about. In that slight increase of percent, it went up to 2.2 million. And if we come down here and put 2.2 million, and we show results, interesting thing happens. Not only would you never run out of money, but essentially you're living off your interest, which means that as you're pulling in $50,000 of income a year, just as you were living, your retirement doesn't go away, it actually grows. It's amazing. Which means that even though you'll be able to live, let's say you lived to 90, you actually have more money than when you retired. 6.9 million, it says. So you would have 2.2 million when you start to retire. You'd be pulling in $50,000 a year, and if you died at 90, you'd have 6.9 million to give away. So I'm going to challenge you to not just find out how much would you need to try to not have your money out, not try to just outlive your money. I don't want you to just outlive your money outlive your money. I want you to really try to get to the point and find out what that is. So if you remember, we did 1 point. I think we did 1.1 million, right? And this, we ran out of money. If we died at 90, we'd still have 1.3 million to give away, which is great. It's still awesome. What if you died at 90? You'd still have 1.3, which is even higher. So you actually still would have more money than you started with, which is great. But eventually it will run out. So this is still actually very good. But it's fun to play with this number and say at what point, there's a little deflection point of when that just boom, pops up. And so let's try, like 1.8 million. Yep, you see how it goes up, you'll never run out of money. 1.5 million. Yeah, pretty much. So even the difference between 1.3 or 1.1 and 1.5 million really shows you the difference of what happens with your money. So find out what your money will look like if you put 15% away. How much will you have doing your salary, your per year, things like that. The other thing is the matching component. Dave always recommends if your company matches the 401k, don't add that match percentage to this. He says that for a few reasons, because you never know. Companies can always take away that match at any time. You may end up getting laid off and getting a different job that doesn't have a match. So even if you're getting it today, be conservative and don't even do that match. Just put in what you're going to be putting in. That'll be conservative. Now it might make sense to put it in there just to see, hey, if this did stay, what could it be? But to be conservative, also do an analysis without that extra match, just to see where would you be worst case scenario, because you always want to look at both conservative and then possible, what would happen possible. So there you have it. That's how you do the retirement and investing calculator. And contact me if you have any questions.